if I do not work hard, I will not have a control over my life. So that makes me to work hard when I study. Like that is even at the younger age, that was in my mind. If I do not study, I'm not going to get a good job. If I'm not going to get a good job, I will be left out. I will be on the hands of others. So those are the things that motivated me to study hard and succeed. My mom is one of my main motivator. She's a very strong woman. She was a teacher and she used to advise me and my sisters to work hard.
She is Lemlem Zeleke from Calgary, Canada. Immigrated from Ethiopia. She is an entrepreneur, a public speaker, and a social worker. Let's welcome Lemlem Zeleke in our motivational talk. Hi Lemlem, how are you?
Hey Madan, I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good, and it's a really great opportunity to talk to you.
For me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Can you share where were you born?
I was born in Ethiopia, in a small town called Debre ዘይት, which is an hour drive from the capital city, Addis Ababa. Language is Amharic.
Wow, it's really interesting. Can you describe a little bit more how was your life in childhood in Ethiopia?
When I was a child, just like other child, I love to play outside kids in our neighborhood. And also my parents, they are very much interested for us to succeed in education. So I had to also study a lot of time. And so I used to study a lot because, you know, if like in Ethiopia to be successful, either you have to work hard and good at school, otherwise like there are not much options.
In Ethiopia, you had a very tough life or it was easy?
My mom was a teacher and my dad was working in Air Force. He was a technician and we had like average life.
So you didn't face more problems?
If you compare like here, of course, like when I grow up, I didn't have like much options. Like when I was in a school, like I attend school, but I do not have much opportunity for extracurricular activities. For example, learning like swimming or going to music class, ballet or something, you know, here, you know, there are so many options. Like I didn't have that type of things, but life is just normal.
What you used to dream when you were a child?
Like most families in Ethiopia, they want you either to be a doctor or an engineer. So maybe it is from the community, like from my family. I used to wish to be a doctor when I was very young. But when I joined university, like I didn't score high mark. Those who score very high mark were the ones who joined doctorate or engineering degree. So, but biology was in line with, you know, medicine, pharmacy. So it was my fifth option. That's how I started.
Being a woman, did you face any discrimination also in your childhood days?
Most women experience challenges, gender-based violence. Like I come from a girl's family, like I don't have brother and we all are girls, and like there were extended family members who do not appreciate the fact that we do not have a brother, and people think that, you know, they do not value both boys and girls the same way. And I saw that even from my family. And also in the communities, there are so many challenges women experience in their day-to-day life, especially women in remote countries, like in the village, they are responsible for household chores, then like on top of their school, doing that, and they are easily left out and they can't achieve at the same level with boys, and they do not have equal treatment like boys, and that make them, and also the other challenge, even early marriage, and those type of things. Also like the community pressure, women, unless they marry at certain age, then it is hard. So those type of things also an issue. But gender issues, it is so wide. But as a woman, I also experienced that. Even like on working with other men is like, it is not always the same, like people, how they value men, co-workers and female co-workers. Like you can see it in so many different ways.
When you face that situation, how you used to defend?
In the family, what I was saying is, of course, like I will work hard and I will show how I can work, I can succeed just like other men. And so that's like by working hard. And when situations happen, when gender-based violence happen, I voice and I try to do what I can to make sure that the person who is a victim get heard and get solution. But most of the time it is hard, especially like in the work situation. It's very hard. The first thing, even for a woman to come and then to say like the violence, the sexual harassment that they face, it is hard. Even once they even reported that, there are so many, because this issue is embedded in the culture, people do not believe when women say that they have been harassed or they are sexually assaulted. And people want evidences, a lot of evidences, but usually men do that type of activities when there is no one. And sometimes it is very hard to prove that. And there were times in my workplace that I tried to voice this type of issue. It was happened once, and but it was hard. And people who are doing this type of things, they also get covered usually. It's very hard, but I try to voice it out. In terms of my work, I make sure that women and girls are included at every stage of our development activities. For example, when we go to communities to identify what are the common problems that these communities want to address, we discuss with both men and women. Especially we do this type of discussion separately, because when we do this community conversation in a mixed group, both men and women, men tend to dominate the conversation. And usually men's problem is not women's problem, because women are the ones who are doing the household work, that type of thing. And those things like men, they may not see it, so they may not voice it out. So in my work, how I address the women and girls, how I make sure that women and girls included is by making sure that women are included in each conversation. Sometimes there is a tendency that, women, they can't write, or they can't do anything, and they are easily left out. But by supporting them, building their capacity to be able to make those decisions and stay in those decisions, those are some of my roles, even when I was working in Ethiopia. And even when after I moved here, also I was helping organizations who are implementing this type of projects. When they evaluate it, helping them whether those projects are addressing women's issue or not.
That's great. In spite of growing in a discriminatory environment, how were you able to motivate yourself to become a successful woman, to bring that feeling in your mind that you are also not less than any man?
That's a very good question. My mom is one of my main motivator. She's a very strong woman. She was a teacher, and she used to advise me and my sisters like to work hard. And I developed that if I do not work hard, I will not have a control over my life. So that makes me to work hard when I study. Like that is even at the younger age, that was in my mind. If I do not study, I'm not gonna get a good job. If I'm not gonna get a good job, I will be left out. I will be on the hands of others. So those are the things that motivated me like to study hard and succeed.
After you graduated, you started doing job, and then after, what happened to your life?
Sure. So as I said, first I studied biology degree, and then I started to teach first primary school students. But the teaching I didn't like it because it was a lot of work. During the daytime, I teach. Evening time, I have to prepare for the next day, marking, preparing lesson plans. It was a lot of work. Teaching is a lot of work. It is good that you learn very new things, but it is hard work and you don't get compensated well as well. So I really wanted to change. I really wanted to do development work. So I applied for my master's and I studied a rural development program at master's level. And then I started to work at local NGO, non-government organization. And I started to work there. I was a senior trainer, and my job was like teaching communities, on water, sanitation, and hygiene, how to wash their hands, how to build their toilet and keep their areas clean, and how they manage their water, that type of activities. And then later on, I also joined international NGO. So these water, sanitation, and hygiene activities it is mostly public health work. And it's also rural development. It is a development work. At the same time, it's also public health. People go to hospital when they get sick, but before they get sick, the activities that you do at a prevention level, disease prevention, that is public health work. So I wanted to study in depth about public health. So I joined university in United Kingdom, UK, for public health masters. And then I studied my master's. It was intensive. And then after that, I moved to Calgary, Canada.
If you compare life you have right now and you had before in Ethiopia, what level of success you think you have achieved?
When I just starting my career at early age, I was asking myself, like, what do I really want to do in life? What is my purpose? And I really thinking, like, what do I want to do in my life? And I was praying and reading books. And then I was reading Dr. Miles Munor, if you know him.
Yeah, I listen him.
Yeah, and I was reading his understanding your potential, maximizing your potential, and it explains about how you plan your life, and if you do not plan it, you don't know where you are going. And also it is hard to know what success is if you don't plan, right? Or things will become just wishing, So I planned what I wanted to do. That's why even studying, going back to school, all those things, because I wanted to improve in my life, succeed, achieve more. I say like at every stage of my life, I had a lot of successes and also challenges as well. Yeah, success is number one, like achieving what I have planned. That is a success for me. With the help of God, I was able to achieve what I have planned, and I have also other plans that I am working on.
And nowadays, you have your own business, you have created your own product as well, and you are a good speaker. You really have a big dream for future, and right now also you have achieved a lot. How did you get these all ideas?
The plan that I prepared at early age, that really helping me, guiding me to have this path. When I prepared that plan at my early career, I wanted, at someday I wanted to do something that can have a positive impact in other people, especially women and children. So I have that plan. And after I moved here, one of the challenge was for me to find the right hair care product. And or like when I find it, it is expensive and it's not easily accessible. So I thought, like, why is this? Like, why don't I make it? Because in my first degree, my major is biology, minor is chemistry. So I if I study more, and then I could come up with this product. So that's how I started to make this product. And then later on, I decided, why don't I make it to business? And the YouTube idea is to show also what I'm doing. And the other thing is I also want to improve my speaking skill and also, learning and sharing what I have learned for others. That is my main purpose.
Your hair, your body fitness, your smile, your talking style is so beautiful. How do you manage to develop these things?
Thank you for the compliment, but even I really need to improve my speaking skill still, and that's why I joined Toastmasters, where I met you, and now we are fellow Toastmasters. And I think for me, self-improvement is it has to be a day-to-day activity. Like for me, like I really want to improve myself, and always I have to make time. If I want to grow, I have to make time. If there's a big tree, and if you go and cut that tree like 5 minutes a day, then you will make that tree, and eventually the tree will fail. So that's why like I try to make time to try and like read or do something that motivates me, that inspires me. Sometimes, it may not be always easy like to work on yourself. I use different ways to motivate myself and do, because there's no other option.
Thank you, Lemlem, for giving your time and such wonderful ideas. It's really a great opportunity for us to learn from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Medan, for having me. It's really a pleasure to share my life experiences with you. Thank you so much.